Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in their primes were the most feared backcourt in NBA history. Now the Splash Brothers are back on the modern day Warriors, and we're about to find out if they can reclaim their throne. Prime Steph Curry is going to be a 99 overall at age 28, and Klay Thompson is going to be a 92 overall age 26. Now let me go ahead and show you guys what the rotation will be looking like as of right now. So the starting lineup is of course going to include Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, aka the Splash Brothers, and then we have Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Trayce Jackson-Davis at that center position. And then off the bench we have ourselves Brendan Pajemski, Jonathan Kuminga, Quinton Post, and Buddy Hield. Moses Moody is not in our rotation as of right now. That's because our team is pretty deep, but by the trade deadline we should make some trades to upgrade the center position, and then he can fall back in the rotation. But right now we're focused on Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Let's go ahead and simulate the first few weeks and see how things go. We'll simulate until November 20th and see how our team does. Let's go ahead and start. And so far we haven't lost a single game, and I forgot to turn off player injuries, so let me quickly do that before we continue. Okay, let's go ahead and continue the simulations. Again, so far we haven't lost a single game. We're 10-0. And can we go undefeated for these first few weeks? Yes, we do. So the Prime Splash Brothers have not lost a single game in the first few weeks. Currently, we have 17 wins and 0 losses, making us the #1 seed, which is absolutely insane. Let's see how the Prime Splash Brothers are doing in their stats. So Curry's averaging 28 points and 9 assists, shooting 50, 40, 90. Then Klay Thompson's averaging nearly 30 points per game, shooting 50, 50, 80. Amazing. Klay Thompson hasn't really averaged close to 30 points per game in his career, and that's obviously because he was a second option, always behind Steph Curry. But it could have been possible if he was allowed to shoot as many shots as he wanted. Jimmy Butler's playing good, and now I'm going to continue simulating until the end of this season. Well, actually, we're going to stop at the trade deadline to make some moves. There is a position in our starting lineup that I would like to upgrade, and that's a center position. So I'll see you guys at the trade deadline. And also, if you guys do enjoy these rebuilds, please make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new. That supports out my channel a ton. I'm stopped here at the trade deadline, and like I said, there's one position I want to upgrade, and that's a center position. So we're going to be trading away Jonathan Kuminga in a top 3 protected first round pick for Walker Kessler, who's one of the best rim protectors in the NBA, good rebounder, and can score when he needs to. So let's go ahead and get Walker Kessler to be our brand new starting center. I gave Draymond Green a 1-year contract extension, and we're also going to give Trayce Jackson-Davis a 2-year contract extension. And now we're ready for the second half of this season. We got ourselves a new big man, and I think we're going to be even more dominant than we were before. The Splash Brothers have a perfect roster around them at this moment. Now I'll see you guys in the playoffs at the end of this season. Let's see if Curry or Klay Thompson can win MVP. It may be hard, but it is possible. At the end of season number 1, Steph Curry goes on to win MVP, averaging 29 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, shooting 50, 40, 90. Curry had an amazing season, and so did Klay Thompson, which I'll show you guys here in a second. Rookie of the Year goes to Cooper Flagg, Russell Westbrook 6th Man of the Year, Wemby wins Defensive Player, Kel'el Ware Most Improved, Shea Clutch Player, Steve Kerr Coach of the Year, and we also win Executive of the Year. And of course, Prime Steph was on All-NBA First Team. Do we get Klay Thompson here? Let's see, we do not. Which sucks, but it is what it is. No one on All Defensive Team and no one on All Rookie Team, but we were the #1 seed, winning 68 games and losing only 14. And in round number 1, we're going to be taking on the Denver Nuggets, but let me show you guys the player stats before that. So the leading scorer on our team was Steph Curry, averaging 29 points per game. Again, amazing season from Steph. And same from Klay Thompson, who was averaging 26 points per game, shooting 50, 40, 80. 44% from the three-point line is absolutely insane, and he made 302 three-pointers. Jimmy Butler was really good for us as a third scoring option, 18 points per game, 11 from Pajemski, amazing six-man for our team. He shot 43% from the three-point line, which is impressive, and the rest of the team. So right now we only have 4 players in double-digit scoring, so we may need to look into some more scoring this offseason, but let's see what happens here in the playoffs. I'm going to fix up the player minutes, and hopefully we can win the Prime Splash Brothers a championship. Alrighty, I fixed up the player minutes and now it's time to hopefully defeat the Denver Nuggets. I'm not sure how they were the number 7 seed, but they were. They have the same starting lineup. Well, not really, they switched up the small forward position, but they do have Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. They still have Cam Johnson, but he's coming off the bench, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Jonas Valanciunas. So this is, of course, a really good team. I think we can defeat them, but you never know. Game number 1 does go to us. Curry drops 34 points, playoff Jimmy with 29, and Klay Thompson with 28. Game number 2 is also a win for us. Playoff Jimmy is going off right now, drops 32 points. Curry had 24, and Klay had 16. Game 3, we're up 3-0 just like that. Klay Thompson 38, Curry with a 37-point double-double, Kessler with 18, and Butler with 10. And we go on to sweep the Denver Nuggets to advance to the second round. Let's go ahead and look at the player stats for the first round. So Curry was averaging 32 points per game, Prime Klay 27 points per game, and playoff Jimmy was amazing as well, 23 points per game. But now we're taking on the Los Angeles Clippers, who have James Harden, Bradley Beal, Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, and Zubac. This is definitely a really good team. They also have Brook Lopez, Bogdanovic, Chris Paul, and Derrick Jones Jr. Game number 1 goes to us. Curry drops 35 points, 29 from Butler. Where is Klay? Klay fouled out in 21 minutes, but he was struggling offensively, but luckily we still get that win. Game number 2 is also a win for us. Klay Thompson with 42 points, Steph with 27, 16 from pods. Game 3, another win. We haven't lost a single game in the playoffs so far. Steph Curry dropped 43, 6, and 9, as well as 4 steals. Klay Thompson had 29. And are we going to sweep them? Yes, we do. Just like that, we're in the conference finals, taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Let's go ahead and see the player stats for the second round. Curry was averaging 33.5 points per game, and Klay Thompson was averaging 26.5 points per game. Now we're taking on the Dallas Mavericks, who have Kyrie Irving, Dante Exum, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively II. Off the bench, they have Gafford, Washington, Marshall, and Russell. Let's see how things go here in the conference finals. Game number 1 goes to us. Butler drops 23, 22 from Thompson. Curry struggled but still had 19 points. Game number 2 also goes to us. Butler with 22, Curry with 21, Klay Thompson with 15. Game 3, we're up 3-0 again. We haven't lost a single game, and we sweep the Dallas Mavericks to make it to the NBA Finals. Butler had 33 points, 26 from Thompson, and 23 from Curry. Let's go ahead and look at the player stats for the conference finals. So Butler led the way in the conference finals. It wasn't the Splash Brothers, it was Jimmy Butler, averaging 26 points per game, 24 from Klay Thompson, and 20 from Curry. He did struggle offensively, but luckily we still make the NBA Finals, where we're going to be taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Jimmy Butler wins Western Conference Finals MVP, Trae Young Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Let's look at what the Atlanta Hawks roster is looking like. So they have Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Risacher, Jalen Johnson, and Porzingis. And off the bench, Okongwu, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luke Kennard. And yeah, I think we could defeat this team. Let's see what happens. Again, we haven't lost a single game in the playoffs so far. Game number 1 does go to us. Klay Thompson drops 44 points, Curry with 36. The Splash Brothers went off here in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Game 2 is also a win. Klay with another 40-point game, 42 points to be exact, 41 from Curry, and that was amazing. Game number 3, we do end up losing the first game of the playoffs. Trae Young dropped 40 on our heads, Curry had 30, so did Klay Thompson. Butler had nearly a triple-double, but we did fall short. Game number 4 goes to us. Let's go. Butler with 27, Curry with 24, and Klay Thompson struggled here, 14 points, but at least we still got the win. And are we going to gentlemen sweep the Hawks? And yes, we do. Just like that, your Golden State Warriors are your 2026 NBA champions, with Steph Curry winning Finals MVP, averaging 32 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, nearly 3 steals, shooting 50-50-90. Let's go ahead and look at the playoff stats here. So we played a total of 17 games, and in those 17 games, Steph Curry was a leading scorer offensively with 30 points per game, and we had prime Klay 27 points per game, 22.5 from Butler. We may need some help offensively this offseason, maybe get some players who can help us score a little bit more buckets, because right now we don't have many of them other than Curry, Thompson, and Butler. Let's see the NBA final stats here. So Curry was leading the way, 32 points per game. Right behind him was Klay Thompson, averaging 29 points per game, and then Butler was averaging 21 points per game. And now it's time for the off-season player retirements. LeBron James retires, Chris Paul, Al Horford. A bunch of amazing players decide to hang it up. I don't think we're going to have any picks in the 2026 NBA draft, so I'll see you guys at free agency. And good thing I decided to look at what players are retiring, because Draymond Green is trying to retire at only 36 years old. Well, only 36 is insane. He is pretty old up there in NBA age, but I do want something back for Draymond Green if he's going to be retiring. So we're going to overturn his retirement and trade him this offseason for a new power forward. And I think I have the perfect power forward in mind. We are going to be targeting Aaron Gordon from the Denver Nuggets. In my opinion, Aaron Gordon's game style is a lot like Draymond Green's. On top of that, he's a good scorer, he can rebound, good playmaker, good defender, and he's a good three-point shooter as well. In the 24-25 season, he shot 43%. This past season, he shot 39%. So Gordon's going to be the player we're going to be targeting. Let's see what the Denver Nuggets say. They do decline. They want Moses Moody. I would like to keep Moody on our team, so let's try including some first-round picks instead. One first-round pick gets it done, and just like that, we have ourselves a new starting power forward in Aaron Gordon. Team player options, we are going to pick up the team option on Brendan Pajemski. He had an amazing season for us, so we're going to keep him on this team for now, and possibly for the whole video. Qualifying offers, we are going to be giving the qualifying offer to Walker Kessler. We will give it to Quinton Postmite as well. He shot pretty well. We could use him in a trade or keep him as our backup center. Q Santos we don't really need on this team, so we won't give him the qualifying offer. But Walker Kessler is going to be the big re-signing we need to do this offseason. So let's go ahead and offer him a 4-year contract. I would like to lower it down if possible to around $16 million annually. And I think he will accept that. Again, we don't need Q Santos, but Walker Kessler accepts. We get him back on a 4-year, $71 million contract. I'm going to also offer Kenrich Williams a 1-year contract. He's a good 3-and-D player, or might as well make that a 2-year minimum contract. He only wants a minimum. And we're also going to offer Keon Ellis a contract. He's a good 3-and-D player, a minimum contract. Hopefully he accepts, and he declines. So let's see if we can give him a little bit more and make him accept this contract, which I think he will. $2.7 million, and he will be accepting. So we're going to be signing Walker Kessler, Kenrich Williams, and Keon Ellis this offseason. And now we're ready for the second season with the Prime Splash Brothers in the modern NBA. The 9-man rotation we're going to be running with will be Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Aaron Gordon, Walker Kessler, and off the bench we have Brendan Pajemski, Moses Moody, Steven Adams, and Kenrich Williams. Steven Adams I did sign to be the backup center. If he plays good, we'll continue having him as our backup center. If not, we can always change him with Trayce Jackson-Davis. We do also have Tyus Jones, Keon Ellis, and Buddy Hield in case we need to sub any of them in. Now let's go ahead and simulate until November 19 and see just how our team's doing. So far, we have lost 3 games, which is kind of a surprise compared to the previous season. And at November 19, we are the 3rd seed with 9 wins and 4 losses. A bit different than the previous season, but I do think chemistry still needs to be built. We are running with a new rotation. So far in the 13 games we did play, Steph Curry's averaging 30 points per game, 7 assists, 5 boards, and Klay Thompson's averaging 23.5 points per game, shooting 42% from the 3-point line. And now I'm going to start simulating until the end of this season. If there is any trades to be made, of course, I'll stop at the trade deadline to show you guys. Prime Steph Curry wins a back-to-back MVP this season, averaging 31 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, and 1.5 steals, shooting 50, 40, 90 once again. Amazing season from Curry. Darren Peterson, Rookie of the Year. RJ Barrett, 6-man. Wemby, Defensive Player. Scoot wins Most Improved. Tyrese Maxey, Clutch. And Steve Kerr wins Coach of the Year once again, and we also win Executive of the Year. Steph Curry was on All-NBA First Team. Let's see if we get Klay Thompson, which sadly we don't, and we don't get anyone on All-Defensive Team either. We were the number 1 seed once again this season. This playoffs, we're going to be taking on the Houston Rockets in round number 1. We won a total of 70 games this season, losing only 12, so we did do better than the previous season, where I believe we won 66 or 68 games. And let me show you guys the player stats before we start simulating here in the playoffs. So let's see how the Splash Brothers did. Curry was averaging 31 points per game. Klay Thompson was averaging 24 points per game, shooting 44% from the 3-point line and nearly 50% from the field. Another amazing season from the Prime Splash Brothers. Jimmy Butler was amazing as well. He wasn't scoring as much, but he was playmaking better than the previous season. Aaron Gordon was an amazing get for our team, 13 points per game. He almost shot 60% from the field, and that is amazing. 37% from the 3-point line, and the rest of the team. Brennan Pajemski, something I've realized in 2K Simulation, he's absolutely amazing. His efficiency is always insane. 55% from the field, 43% from the 3-point line. But now it's time for the playoffs. Hopefully we can win the back-to-back championship. Let me fix up the minutes and then we'll get right into the playoffs. Alrighty, the player minutes have been fixed. Now we're taking on the Houston Rockets, who have Reed Shepherd, Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Sengun. And off the bench they have Tari Eason, Nick Smith Jr., Clint Capella, and Fred VanVleet. So now we're taking on the rivals, the Houston Rockets. A lot of their players hate the Golden State Warriors, so we're going to go out there and show them what we're all about. Game number 1 does go to us. Steph Curry drops 29 points, Gordon with 27, Kessler 23, Thompson 21. Game number 2 is also a win for us. Curry with 29, Butler with 25. Thompson struggled here in game number 2, only scoring 9 points. But we are up 3-0. Curry 41, 22 from Thompson. Amazing first few games from the Splash Brothers, and we go on to sweep the Houston Rockets to advance to round number 2, where we'll be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's go ahead and see how our players did here in round number 1. Curry 32 points per game and Thompson 20 points per game. Amazing first round. Butler 19, Gordon 18. And now we're taking on Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Randall, and Reed. Let's go ahead and hopefully beat this team to advance to the second round. We're up 2-0. Thompson 31, Curry had a double-double. We're up 3-0, and we sweep the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're back in the conference finals for the second year in a row. Let's see how the players did here in the second round. Thompson led the way in the second round with 26 points per game. Curry struggled kind of, shooting 40%, but he was still averaging 24 points per game. We're taking on the Dallas Mavericks once again in the conference finals, just like last year. They still have Kyrie Irving, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively. Game number 1 goes to the Dallas Mavericks, and we do take game number 2. We take 3. They take 4, so it's tied series here. going into game 5. I believe I should come up with a defensive coach game plan, and Cooper Flagg is usually the problem, so I'm going to put a good defender, either Aaron Gordon or Jimmy Butler, on him. I came up with the defensive coach game plan, changed some player shot tendencies. Now let's see if we can win this next game to go up 3-2. We do have home court advantage, which is amazing, and so far it's back and forth battle here. They have the lead. They're up by 6 with 6 minutes remaining. Let's see if we can come back in this, which it looks like we are doing, but they still have the lead, and we finally take the lead. We're up by 1 point, 2:30 remaining. Back and forth battle here. We're up by 3, 4, and it looks like, whoa, they almost, okay, so we end up winning by 3 points. They could have hit a clutch shot there, but luckily they didn't. Klay Thompson had 28, 27 from Gordon, 19 from Curry, and 17 from Butler. How was our defense? Our defense was alright, but I mean, on Anthony Davis, it was really good. We held him to 5 of 14 shooting. I did put Walker Kessler back in the starting lineup before we had Steven Adams, and I do have Walker Kessler guarding Anthony Davis, which is obviously a lot better because Anthony Davis is 6'10", 250 pounds. But now, time for game number 6. We won't have home court advantage here, but hopefully we can go to Dallas and get this win. So far we do have the lead, and it looks like they are pushing back, and they beat us right in the end. Whoa, the series is tied. Both of us played really good defense. We scored 93 points, they scored 95, but it looks like they hit a clutch shot in the end. And somehow D'Angelo Russell is playing amazing at 15 points per game, 24 points, 9 of 15 shooting. Perhaps we should come up with a defensive coach game plan for their bench unit as well, since they have a lot of good offensive players: Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Daniel Gafford. Alright, I switched some things up with the rotation. Let's see how things go here in game 7. We will have home court advantage. Hopefully we can go out there and get this win. And so far we are winning. They are pushing back here, but we run away with it in the third quarter, overscoring them by 22 points. Amazing. And it looks like we will be advancing to the NBA Finals. We outscore them by 32 points. Curry had 40, 25 from Thompson, 25 from Butler, 18 from Pods, and 12 from Walker Kessler. How was our defense this time around? I mean, Davis and Irving still played amazing, but we did play really good defense on Cooper Flagg, holding him to 5 of 14 shooting. Steph Curry wins Western Conference Finals MVP, Cade Cunningham Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So we are going to be taking on the Detroit Pistons, who have Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Ausar Thompson, Jonathan Kuminga, who we traded, but it looks like somehow from Utah he made it to Detroit. And they also have Jalen Duren, Nikola Vucevic, Colin Sexton, Mitchell Robinson, and Ben Simmons. So this is a really deep team. Almost every player in the rotation is an 80 overall or higher. Now it's time to start simulating the playoffs. Hopefully we can win the back-to-back championship. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Curry drops 35, 3, and 7, making 6 3-pointers. Thompson hits 34 points, hitting 7 3-pointers. Butler was amazing as well, 26, 5, and 10, as well as 3 blocks. He's been playing really good for us. His playmaking has been a lot better. 8 assists per game. Aaron Gordon, 20, 10, and 4, hitting 2 3-pointers, 6 of 9. Amazing shooting from our team. Game number 2 is also a win for us. This time, Klay Thompson leads the way with 29 points. Butler, 23-point double-double. Curry struggled offensively, but still had 19 points. Game number 3, we're up 3-0, just like that, with Curry dropping 47 points, hitting 7 3-pointers, 14 of 14 from the free throw line. 25 from Butler. Klay Thompson with 14. He did struggle here big time from the 3-point line, but that is alright because we still got the win. And are we going to be sweeping the Detroit Pistons? No, we're not sweeping them, so we do end up losing 1 game so far to the Detroit Pistons. Thompson had 31, 27 from Curry, 21 from Gordon, and 17 from Butler. Sexton on their team dropped 26 points, 21 from Cade. How's Cade been doing? 30 points per game. Cade Cunningham is amazing. He has a lot of potential in my opinion. In real life, he was scoring 26, 6, and 9. He could possibly be a triple-double guy in the future, but let's see if we can gentleman sweep them. We do gentleman sweep them to win the Splash Brothers and the Golden State Warriors back-to-back championships. Steph Curry wins Finals MVP, averaging 32 points per game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 steal, 40% from 3, and 47 from the field. Let me show you guys the player stats before we end out this video. Well, actually, I think we should run it back one more season with the same core to see if we can three-peat and win 3 championships in a row for the Splash Brothers. But in the 20 games we played, Curry was the leading scorer, 28.5 points, and Klay Thompson was averaging 25.5 points per game. In the NBA Finals, Curry was averaging 32.5, Klay Thompson was averaging 30 points per game. And now we're going to run it back for the last season and see if we can win the 3rd championship in a row. We're going to try keeping the same exact core we have as of right now. And I'll see you guys at the start of season number 3 with our 9-man rotation. This is what our 9-man rotation will be looking like for the last final season. The starting lineup is going to include Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Aaron Gordon, and Walker Kessler. And off the bench, we have Brendan Pajemski, Moses Moody, Trayce Jackson-Davis, and Derrick Jones Jr., who we signed in free agency. I didn't have Steven Adams on a 2-year contract, which I totally forgot about, so we did lose him in free agency, which kind of sucks, but that's all right. I'll be simulating until the end of this season, where hopefully we can go on to three-peat and win the 3rd championship. I was checking if Steven Adams is a free agent, and sadly he wasn't, but Goga was a free agent, so I went ahead and signed him. Right now, Trayce Jackson-Davis is our backup center, but if he doesn't play good, we can always change him with Goga now, which is good to have as a backup plan. Steph Curry goes on to win his 3rd MVP in a row. And now hopefully we can win our 3rd championship in a row as well. He was averaging 28.5 points per game, 3.5 boards, almost 7 assists, 2 steals, shooting 50, 40, 90 for the 3rd season in a row. Tyrone Stokes, Rookie of the Year, Tyler Hero, 6th Man of the Year, Wemby Depoy, Nate, Most Improved, Clutch goes to Ja Morant, and we get Coach of the Year, winning 74 games and losing only 8. Steph Curry makes it on all NBA first team. Do we get Klay Thompson? No, we do not. And we don't get, okay, we get Walker Kessler on all defensive second team, which is amazing to see. And that's it for awards. We were the number 1 seed once again, winning 74 games and losing only 8, which is absolutely insane. Let's see who we're going to be taking on here in round 1, and it's going to be the San Antonio Spurs. But first, let's see how the Splash Brothers played in the regular season. So Steph Curry was averaging 28.5 points per game. Klay Thompson was averaging 24.5 points per game, shooting nearly 50, 40, 80. He's been shooting above 40% for the past 3 seasons, 42% this season. Let's see how many 3-pointers he made. He made less than he did the previous few seasons, but he also shot less. Let's see how many Curry made. Okay, so Curry made 339 3-pointers, and in the first season he made 372. Butler was amazing as well, 17, 14 from Gordon, 12 from Pods, and 10 from Walker Kessler. Let me fix up the player minutes, and hopefully we can go on to win our 3rd championship. I fixed up the player minutes, and now we're taking on Wemby and the Spurs, who have De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, Devin Vassell, Dylan Person, and Victor Wembanyama. They also have Stephon Castle off the bench, who's an 88 overall. Game number 1 does go to us. Curry drops 32. Klay Thompson struggled offensively, but luckily we still get the win. Game number 2 also goes to us. Curry with 39. Klay Thompson with 15. He has been struggling so far, but hopefully he can pick it up. Game 3 we also win. Curry 34. There we go. That's a Klay Thompson we know, dropping 31 points. And we sweep the San Antonio Spurs to advance to the 2nd round. Let's check out the player stats here. So Curry was averaging 32, Klay Thompson 23. And now we're taking on the Portland Trail Blazers, who I don't think will be much of a challenge. They were the number 5 seed, but they're way too inexperienced for the Splash Bros. Game number 1 goes to us. Curry dropping 41, 24 from Butler. Where was Thompson? 15 from Klay. Game number 2 also goes to us. Butler with 39, 35 from Curry, 21 from Klay Thompson. He has been struggling from the 3-point line big time these playoffs. We also win game 3 and 4 to sweep the Portland Trail Blazers. Let's see. Whoa, Curry was almost averaging 40 points per game. 38.5 points per game from Curry, as well as 7 assists, 5 boards. 26.5 from Butler, 24 from Klay, and now we're taking on the Dallas Mavericks for the 3rd year in a row in the conference finals, but this time Cooper Flag is a 93 overall, so this time it should be a lot harder than it previously was. Game number 1 luckily goes to us, and there we go. Klay Thompson with 35 points, Curry 19. Game 2 also goes to us, so does game 3, and we do not sweep them, but we do gentlemen sweep them. Let's check out the player stats for the conference finals. 26.5 from Curry, 23 from Thompson, and there we go. His 3-point percentage is going up. Now we're either going to be rematching the Detroit Pistons or taking on the Atlanta Hawks, and it's going to be the Pistons. Curry wins Western Conference Finals MVP. Cade Cunningham wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Let's see their rotation. So they have Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson. They still have Jonathan Kuminga, who's averaging 17 a night. Jalen Duren, and off the bench they have Sexton, Vucevic, Holland, and Ryan Rollins, who's up to an 80 overall. I never knew that he progresses this much in simulation, but clearly he does. Game number 1 goes to us. Curry dropping 38, 8, and 11. Thompson with 25. Game number 2 also goes to us. Curry drops 29 points. Thompson with 19. Game 3 goes to us. Let's go. Curry dropping a 40 bomb. And Klay Thompson 26 points in 29 minutes. He did foul out. Are we going to sweep them? Yes, we do, for the Golden State Warriors to three-peat and win 3rd championship in a row. Steph Curry wins Finals MVP, averaging 30 points per game, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals a game. His defense was amazing in the finals, shooting 50, 40, 100. And we played a total of 17 games here in the NBA playoffs, and the leading scorer in those 17 games was Steph Curry, averaging 31.5 points per game. Klay Thompson, 23.5 points per game. The Splash Brothers were absolutely amazing. And then we also had Jimmy Butler this whole video playing amazing for us. He was averaging 20 points per game. Now let's see the NBA final stats. So Curry was averaging 30 in the 4 games we played in the NBA Finals, and 24 points per game from Klay Thompson, 21 from Jimmy Butler. Aaron Gordon, another amazing get for this team. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new for more 2K26 rebuilds, and also comment down below what rebuild you guys would like to see next. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.